What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just not getting in here tonight. Um, Welcome to Three and Out with your boy Real Ralph. Usually DEBOE be up here with me. He sat this one here right here out. But what's going on, everybody? You know what I'm saying? Great college weekend, a lot of big games. A lot of storylines or whatnot, a lot of close games. I watched some very good games over the weekend, man. It was some very. We gonna get into all that, you know what I mean, and that's what we gonna do. You know what I mean. Just me tonight, y'all. Just me. Three and out with your boy. You know, so we about to go ahead on and get on into this thing. Um, Starting out with the top 25, man. It's top 25 from Saturday. I didn't get to watch no game. I had to go back and watch some highlights. What's going on? We building over here. Um, Paul said, Paul, salute to the Mancave fame. That's what's up. Yeah, man, we building over here. It was a lot of great games, man. I didn't get to watch no games over the weekend because I was at a band competition. You know, these band competitions they held on the weekend. But let's go ahead and get on into it. Saturday, starting out. Florida State and Wake Forest. Florida State and Wake Forest, man. I went back and watched that game, man. Jordan Travis is playing real good ball right now. He could easily be in the Heisman talk. He had 359 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He was 22 for 35. Um, the leading receivers in that game was Ellison for Wake Forest. He had 77 yards, and um, rushing yards was Benson for Florida State. But you're not the one I missed. I missed a whole bunch of games. We building over here. Florida State, man, they just ran all over Wake Forest. They had 508 total yards, 20 first downs. Um, Travis Jordan, he beasted him, man. Um, I see Florida State making it into the playoffs. I see Florida State making it into the playoffs, man. Anytime you have a dominant team in the ACC, you're gonna, because the ACC is a weak conference anyway. The ACC is a weak conference, so I see Florida State running away. Clemson being down this year, I see Florida State running away with this with the ACC, man. So yeah, y'all, they stomped all over Wake Forest, man, 41-16. Next game, Oklahoma at Kansas. Number 6, Oklahoma at Kansas. Oklahoma was upset this weekend, y'all. They was 7-0. 7-0. They was 7-0, man. And Kansas beat them. I think I picked that game. I think I picked that game. I think I picked Kansas to beat Oklahoma too. I want to say I did. But yeah, they Kansas. That was I went back and watched the game. That was a very good game. If anybody want to go back and watch a good game, watch that Oklahoma and Kansas game. That was a real good game over the weekend. Passing yards, Gabriel had 171 yards, and he threw an interception. Bean for Kansas, he had 218 yards and 2 interceptions. And rushing yards, Walker had 146 yards and 1 touchdown for 23 carries. Neal for Kansas had 112 yards and 1 touchdown. And D. Stoops, Mark Stoops' son, had 76 yards receiving, while Arnold for Kansas had 79 yards receiving. Um, Kansas out outdueled them, and the total yards was 443 yards and 25 first downs. Um, I like this Kansas team. They became bowl eligible with that win too. I like their receivers. What's going on, DEBOE vibes? I like their receivers, and I like that quarterback. That quarterback they got, he is fast as hell. I forgot his name. What his name is? Um, Jin Bean. Hey, that dude fast as I don't know what, man. Even though he had 2 interceptions, but man, their DBs fire too. For real. Hey DEBOE, me and you talked about this game. Yeah, I know we did. I knew we did. We both picked Kansas to beat Oklahoma, and they did. They did, man. Shouts out to the Jayhawks. That was a big time win. They beat a top 10 team, and that was a big win for them, man. That made them bowl eligible. They 3-2 in the conference, while Oklahoma falls to 7-1 and 4-1 in the conference. I don't think they're going to be able. If they would have stayed undefeated, they might have would have had a chance to make the playoffs. But I don't see them making the playoffs. So big ups to Kansas, man. Big win for them. Indiana at Penn State. Indiana at Penn State, y'all. I went back and watched this game too. Indiana jumped all over Penn State. They scored first. Then in the second quarter, they scored again. So it was, I think, Indiana was up on Penn State. No, yeah, Indiana. No, they wasn't. They was down by 3. But they was red. They with Penn State, man. For real. They 2-6, 0-5 in the conference. They gave Penn State a little run for their money. Sorsby for Indiana had 269 yards passing. He passed for 3 touchdowns. He threw an interception. That's probably what cost him the game. Alar had 210 yards passing for Penn State with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Rushing, Jay Henderson had 57 yards. Penn State's Kate Allen had 87 yards rushing, and D. Carter had 104 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. Lambert has 96 yards receiving for Penn State. Yeah, I see him. Penn State outdueled them in total yards. They had 19 first downs on them. Penn State 71, man. I see them probably making. I don't know how to. Let me see what's the standings in the Big Ten. Penn State, they number 3. They number 3 in the Big Ten. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they probably get into a Rose Bowl or something like that. We the Bills say, ref. I do remember you picking Kansas, and I should have gave you your credit, but I didn't want to. I didn't want it to go straight to your head. Hey, it seems like your boy don't know what he be talking about sometimes, but your boy do know what he be talking about sometimes. I just remember that. Just remember that. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I just have those hunches, man. Even though me and DEBOE picked that game. But yeah, man, Penn State, they got a good win over Indiana. That was a tough win for Penn State. They had to really play in that game because Indiana was bringing it. They was hungry in that game. All right, next up, Georgia and Florida. Georgia and Florida, y'all. This game right here, Florida jumped out on them at first. They jumped out on them 7-0, and then Georgia just came back down and ran the ball down their throat. Carson Beck. I still say Carson Beck. I still say Carson Beck. My Heisman Trophy candidate right now. I like Bo Nix too, but I like Carson Beck. He's still my Heisman candidate. Heisman leading candidate right now for me. He threw for 315 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mertz he threw for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's having a hell of a season too. Rushing, Edwards had 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. M. Johnson from Florida, he rushed for 82 yards. McConkey had 135 yards and 1 touchdown. Now he stepped up his game ever since Brock Bowers went out. Purcell had 99 yards and 6 receptions. Georgia just pounded them on with the run game, man. They had 486 yards total yards and 23 first downs to Florida 16 first downs. Yeah, man, Florida they just couldn't stop the run, man, and their secondary was suspect too. They couldn't catch. I mean, Georgia receivers was just catching all over them, man. They couldn't do nothing. You know, if you don't have good corners in the SEC, you will get caught on, you will get mossed, and you will get embarrassed. So, to me, that was the difference maker for me because Carson Beck threw for 315 yards. You know, and old boy never had 96 yards, so they really passed on him. So yeah, man, if you ain't got good corners in the SEC, your ass is grass. Your ass is grass. All right, next up, Oregon and Utah. Oregon and Utah. I also picked this game. DEBOE, I believe you picked Utah to win this game. But I stuck with my guns because I got Oregon winning the Pac-12. I got Oregon winning the Pac-12. But yeah, Oregon beat Utah 35-6 to move to 7-1, and Utah falls to 6-2 and overall, 3-2 in the conference. Bo Nix, man, I'm loving this kid, man. Yeah, Carson Beck. I just say Carson Beck, my favorite, because look at the talent that he got around him. You got to know how to manage talent around you. You can't just have talent. You know, some teams have talent, but they don't know how to use them. Carson Beck know how to use his talent around him, and that's why they undefeated. They're the #1 team in the nation. I gotta go with Carson Beck. I know that's you know the numbers ain't there, but it is what it is. Bo Nix old ass. Hey, but still, Bo Nix out there balling though. I don't care. You got athletes out there that's on that field, man. He out there hanging with them young boys. You know what I'm saying? He out there balling, man. He doing his thing. He doing his thing. Bo Nix, like I said, he had 248 yards, two touchdowns. Barnes for Utah had 136 yards passing with 2 interceptions. B. Irvin for Oregon had 83 yards rushing, and Franklin for Oregon had 99 yards receiving. Oregon defense, man, they turned Utah over twice. They had a pick six, and I think they got 2 pick sixes off of Utah, man. And they ran the ball. Oregon got some fast ass backs. Where y'all be getting these fast ass little backs and receivers? But they look like little ducks running out there. I'm like, damn, every year Oregon always getting some fast ass. If you ain't got no little, if your team don't know how to tackle in space against Oregon, that's your ass. They gonna burn you. They gonna burn you. They're gonna burn you. So yeah, man, Oregon routed out Utah 35-6 to move to 7-1 overall and 4-1 in the conference. Notre Dame and Pitt, man. Notre Dame is Notre Dame playing good ball right now. I must say, y'all get into a bowl game, but y'all ain't going to no playoffs or nothing like that, Dre. But man, y'all defense had a pick six in that game. That the kick return in that game, the very first punt that they punt the ball to, man. That I forgot that young man's name. He took that thing to the house, man. Pause. I mean, he took it. They had him back there in the backfield, but they just couldn't tackle him. That was a very good run back. They beat Pitt 58-7. To move to 7-2 and 4-1 in the conference. Pitt falls to 2-6 and 0-4 in the conference. Notre Dame, Einstein. Am I saying that right, Dre? I like him, man. Boy, that boy, they nice. He had 114 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Hartman for Notre Dame threw for 288 yards and he had 2 interceptions. I can't pronounce that dude's name for Pitt. He passed for 127 yards and threw 4 interceptions. How you throw 4 interceptions in a game, man? You need to be benched. That's how we gonna beat Stanford. Okay. Prove me wrong now. Matter of fact, I keep saying this. I never did say that Stanford would beat Notre Dame. I never did say that. I just said that they potentially can beat them. Last game, you never know I don't even know what Stanford records, especially if Stanford got a bowl game on the line. Who knows? They might beat them, they might not. End of the game. End of the year. All right. We have Louisville and Duke. Louisville beat the brakes off Duke 23-0. 23-0, man. They just crushed them. Cornerback Jay Plummer had 117 yards passing. Leonard for Duke, he had 121 yards passing. He threw an interception. You're not going to win games like that. Waters he didn't even have that many yards. Jordan, he rushed for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Louisville just had their way with Duke, man. They had their way. They 7-1 though. It's 7-1 in the ACC. Duke drops to 5-3 in the conference. They could have been bowl eligible if they would have won this game. I don't know if Duke gonna make a bowl game, man. Duke should be able to make. They had a pretty good season. Let me see. They got Wake Forest, North Carolina, Virginia, and Pitt left. They should make a bowl game. That'll be good for them. That'll be good for Duke. So yeah, Louisville beats Duke 23-0. Bowl game. Stanford is too. I didn't say Stanford was gonna make a bowl game. I said Duke. What are you talking about? DEBOE. Reed Bill said, Rav, did you say Stanford had Notre Dame? Yeah, they had the potential to beat Notre Dame. They could now. You never know. You never know. Notre Dame got to go to Stanford. So we'll see. Prove me wrong. I could be wrong. Look here. I don't pick games that really won. They won. I picked Oregon, they won that game. I picked Kansas, they won that game. Just picks, man. You never know. Tennessee at Kentucky. Tennessee beat Kentucky 33 to 33-27, and Tennessee moves to 6-2, and Kentucky moved to 5-3 in the conference. I mean 5-3 overall. Damn you, Dre. You get your ass up here, goddamn it. Colorado loses to UCLA. North Carolina Georgia Tech beat North Carolina. Georgia Tech beat North Carolina, man. That was a big win for them. Georgia Tech beat North Carolina 46-42. I didn't get a chance to watch that game. Drake May threw for 310 yards and 2 touchdowns. King for Georgia Tech threw 287 yards and 4 touchdowns. He threw for an interception. Ever since Georgia Tech got out of that option, that's been good for them. Ever since Georgia Tech got out of the option, it seems like they've been winning more games. You just said Stanford's going to show up against Notre Dame because they both, then you need to put, man, let me. Hey, y'all, like I said, it's just predictions, man. It's just predictions. I just sat here and said I made a couple of predictions, and my predictions was right. My predictions was right. So I might be wrong on this, but I might be right. But let me find out I might be right though, Dre and DEBOE and we building over here. Let me find out I might be right now. I'm coming for y'all on the next 3 and out. So we're gonna go ahead on and get into next week's game. So we can go ahead and get on up out of here and wrap this thing up. All right. Ohio State at Rutgers. Who y'all got? Let's go do our picks right now. Ohio State at Rutgers. I got Ohio State beating Rutgers at least by 2 touchdowns. They're gonna run all over them, pass all over them, and everything. So I got Ohio State in that game. Kansas at Texas. Kansas is 6-2, visiting the number 7 Longhorns, which is 7-1. I don't see Kansas. I think Kansas will hang with them a little bit, but I don't see them beating Texas on the road. I just don't see that. Texas A&M at Ole Miss. Texas A&M is 5-3. Ole Miss is 7-1. I got Ole Miss in this game right here beating Texas A&M. Ole Miss has a fire offense, man. They got speedy receivers and everything. Your prediction on Kansas was correct, and Oregon the gas used it has swallowed a little bit. Well, you make some picks in here, Drake. You ain't saying nothing about these games right here. You make some picks. You scared to make picks? All right, next up, Notre Dame at Clemson. I got Clemson, nigga. Notre Dame at Clemson, 7-2, visiting Clemson. It was just 4-4. The spread on that game is 3 points. I got Clemson in that game right there, nigga. You know I don't like your damn team. And I know you don't like mine either, but damn it, I don't like yours. I got Clemson in that game. Huh? All right, next up, Connecticut at Tennessee. Connecticut is 1-7. Tennessee all day in that game. Missouri at Georgia. That's another to keep your eye on. Brady Cook is playing really good ball right now. I don't see them beating Georgia, man. Georgia, I feel like Georgia gonna beat them at least by 2 touchdowns, which actually is the spread. College football is just too funny for me. I just can't play with them only when the big games come. Yeah, have Clemson in it. I do. Florida State at Pitt. I'm taking Florida State in this game. Travis Jordan just playing outstanding ball right now. He got the Seminoles at 8-0. And I got them sneaking into the playoffs um, in the college playoff bracket. Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. Whoa, that is a big one. That is a rivalry game. I don't know why they ain't got that at the end of the year for rivalry week. But I got, man. Whew, I see Oklahoma taking their second loss this week. I see Oklahoma taking their second loss. Red notice, but I don't know who like the Gamecock, but I can say for the first win. Oh yeah, we got our first win, man. Red, you used lots of Connecticut going to blow out Tennessee. Damn you, DEBOE. Penn State at Maryland. Penn State at Maryland. You know what? I need for Penn State to beat Maryland for recruiting purposes. We got my Gamecocks got some players out in the DMV that's committed to us, and I need to see Maryland keep on losing because they started trying to mess with my recruits. So I'm going Penn State on this red, even though I feel like it's gonna be a tough game for Maryland and Penn State, but I'm going Penn State on that one. Who else we got? We got Cal at Oregon. I got Oregon to win the Pac-12. I see them running away with this. At least by 3 touchdowns on Cal. Cal is 3-5. I don't see them hanging with those speedy backs that Oregon got. Washington at USC. Washington at USC, man. Washington 8-0 visiting the USC Trojans is 20 in the nation. It's 7-2. I'm going with USC on this one. I'm going with USC on this one, man. DEBOE, who you think? That's a big game right there. I'm going with USC on this one. I see Washington taking their first loss of the season, so I'm going with USC. All right, the biggest of them all, LSU and Alabama, the two SEC West Titans collage this weekend. We also are doing that game on the Mancave, so y'all make sure y'all be here Saturday night. We will be watching that game live. LSU and Alabama. I always say whoever wins that game will be going to the SEC championship. And last but not least, Oregon State at Colorado. I ain't seen Colorado win in a minute, man. I'm gonna go with Colorado on this one. I'm gonna go with Colorado, man. I think they hungry for a win, even though the spread on this game is Oregon State by 2 touchdowns. I see Colorado pulling out a win because they hungry. And Dion, I ain't gave up on you. You started out hot red. You started out red hot, but I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with you on this one prime time. And then UCLA at Arizona. UCLA is playing some real good ball right now, man. That's a tough. I'm gonna go with UCLA, man. Even though Arizona's gonna be tough at home, that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one. But I'm going with UCLA on that one. I know the college. I'm gonna go over this right here. I know the college rankings came out tonight. College playoff rankings. We got Ohio State, Georgia. No, the college football rankings playoff. The college football playoff rankings came out today. And they have Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State in the top 4 as of right now. In the AP, they got Georgia number 1, Michigan at number 2, Ohio State at number 3, and Florida State at number 4, with Washington and Oregon. Washington on the outside of that. I don't see Oregon getting in with that one loss. So yeah, the college football playoffs rankings came out today, and those are the top 4 right there. Right there. Colorado have become the biggest support. Yeah, and I wasn't on the car. I said no. I said they got to play some teams, man. I told people that. Everybody like, no, they balling. I said no. I got to see them play some teams first, boy, before I can say they really real. What's wrong with us black folks sticking together in the rough times? We all know there's a system in this that Deion will get his revenge next year. Yeah, he will. He will. He got some good recruits coming in. You know, he need to get him a defense because you can't. Excuse me. You can't win championships without defense. Excuse me. So yeah, y'all. My 3-and-out moment was I think Cal could have had a chance to score. They went for it on 4th down. They didn't convert, which I feel like they should have punted the ball, but they didn't. So, y'all, I'm about to choke on here. So, y'all, this is the end of 3-and-out. Make sure y'all stay tuned for Running Back Thursday night. And the Mancave Saturday night, we'll be hosting Alabama and LSU. Make sure y'all be in the building for that. So, this is Real Ralph with 3-and-out. Y'all have a good and blessed night. Sleep tight. And we'll see y'all back here Thursday night on Run It Back Man Cave Live. This is 3, and I'm out.